Mr. Sunshine tells the story of the handsome Eugene, who was born in the Joseon dynasty as a slave, and he escapes in the late 1800s to the US, where he actually joins the Marine Corps. He's sent back to Joseon, or Korea, for a mission when he's a little older, like in his 30s or 40s, and it's during the Japanese colonization time. And of course, he falls in love with the beautiful granddaughter of an aristocrat. My favorite character is Go-Aishin, who is the love interest, the granddaughter of the aristocrat, because not only is she this kind of beautiful noblewoman, very educated, but she's also a sniper in the righteous army, which is the kind of civilian army against the Japanese occupation. And I love it when women have more of a role than just a love interest. She has her own personality and her own story. Yeah, there's a lot of historical background in Mr. Sunshine actually, so we know it takes place during Japanese colonization, but they bring up a lot of other real-life events like the Spanish-American War, the assassination of Queen Min, the Battle of Namdaemun, and Gojong's abdication of the throne, as well as real historical people like Ito Hirobumi from Japan and Horace Newton Allen, who was a real American living in Korea at the time. The King's Road symbolizes a very tragic point in Korean history. In Korean, it's known as Gojong'S Road. So Gojong was the last king and the last emperor of Korea before Japanese colonization. In 1896, a very early February morning, February the 11th, Japanese troops were surrounding the palace, and Gojong was forced to dress up as a woman to disguise himself, sneak out of the palace, and go through the King's Road to enter at the Russian embassy, where he sought asylum for 1 year. So it's a really hard point in Korean history, but that Japanese colonization undertone of Mr. Sunshine means that the King's Road is a really great place to come to if you really enjoyed the drama. So Iwa Centennial Hall now belongs to the Iwa Women's High School, but the land was originally where the Stonetalk Hotel was. And the Stonetalk Hotel was made because all of the foreign embassies who were arriving in Joseon in the early 20th century, which you can see in Mr. Sunshine, their embassies were built in this area, so they needed a foreign hotel. So the Stonetalk Hotel was really popular for foreigners coming into the area, and it was a 2-story building, which was the largest building in the area at the time. Kind of interesting to think of today. Unfortunately, the building is no longer there, but if you go to Iwa Centennial Hall, you can see where the land would have been and the history behind that hotel. In Mr. Sunshine, it's known as the Glory Hotel. The drama for me was really exciting because they bring up so many real situations and real people. I think a lot of historical dramas are just set in a specific time with fictional people, and the drama I think does exaggerate some of the personalities of the real characters that may or may not be true, but sometimes as a historian I'm willing to sacrifice maybe some truth for a little bit of romantic narrative or dramatization of the show. So I really enjoyed it, and I think they did a great job with fact and fiction together. Next on our tour are Korean historical movies featuring hidden histories and hidden figures lost over time. Where should we go first? Would you like to learn about the most tragic prince of Korea, Sado, featured in the movie The Throne, or Korea's most tragic princess, Dokye, featured in the movie The Last Princess?